Hey, what's up, everybody? Goodness gracious, everyone. Oh my godness, what the goodness. That's what this is. This is goodness. This is goodness speaking. I have a creator in my mouth creating me, saying my creator's creating me, creating this speaking. If you're a wow man, you could say speak queen in your own mouth, actually, is the way you would say it, out to my own ears, the two here in between my ears. I would hear it right inside my third eye mind, and you're getting this sound with my tongue and the two flaps of my vocal cords with the oxygen from my lungs that I got from the trees that are the other parts of my lungs, actually, in some way you could say. Anyway, I didn't plan on going all that way, but sometimes it's just kind of fun to play with language in fun ways. It's fun to play with language in fun ways. Don't forget it, the fun ways. Anyway, today is I think I might have skipped a day because I've been traveling of this journal journey. And I plead your forgiveness if that's so. But all the times are happening at once on the planet, interestingly, if you go around it or something like that. Anyway, is today 17 or 18 of the More Man March? Myself becoming more Mormon again. No more caffeine, no more cannabis. Those are two things that Mormons are not supposed to have, for sure. And this Mormon is becoming more Mormon and less rebellious, more submissive again, back to the roots of his culture, and having no caffeine and having no cannabis. And I mentioned also, I'm sure some people are like, what do you mean, no suicide? No suicide, 90 days, I promise. And no pornography, too. The no suicide thing, it was kind of a play because there's this philosopher, Albert Camus. He says, basically, in the morning, you got two decisions to make. Are you going to commit suicide or make a cup of coffee or have a cup of coffee or something like that? And I was like, that's actually not true. I didn't do either of those things today, and I'm planning not to do any of those things, coffee or suicide, for 90 days. Plus no cannabis and no pornography, for sure. Feels weird to talk about that last one, if I'm honest. Feels weird because, there's so much sexual trauma in the world, actually. That's one reason. It's where we all come from. Thank God for mom and dad for sleeping nude together because we don't know how. Isn't that what the song says? Hey, hey, Anyway, you might have noticed, I didn't mention it in all the videos, but I was wearing the same clothes for many videos. I was on this trip. I went to this training, falling and flying. Really great, wonderful facilitators. Great people as participants as well. Pretty intense physical training about carrying people and finding and falling well and knowing the dynamics of your body against a hard floor and what you need to be protective of and how to be careful. It's not intuitive, actually. It's a lot of it needs to be trained, actually, to tell you the truth. Your intuition, when you're doing the things that we were doing, is actually going to not serve you, interestingly. So that's why the training was called Falling and Flying, the art of trained risk taking. It was fun, and I hope to do more of it. And distinctly, I want to say that in the age of AI, artificial intelligence, AI, there's another thing called CI. CI is contact improv. I call it contact dance. Most people call it contact improv. Understandably, why is because it's fairly very improvisational in some ways, but it's actually trained. It's not completely improvisational, especially when you do it well. It needs to not be. When you're doing the cooler things, it needs to not just be improv. Like I said, it needs to not just be instinct. It needs to have been trained, actually. So contact intelligence or artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is not in contact with the body world, actually. It's in contact with our words about it in some way. Maybe when it gets machine worlds, it's already, I don't know. There's some things that I'm not sure about. But if humans are going to exist after, if the thing that when as AI, if it's going to do whatever it's going to do, starts taking over more and more, then to me, what's fundamentally human is contact. Contact, with other bodies and with the ground and the floor and the way we move through gravity. And I'm saying that like this thing about no suicide. In some ways, you could say that like suicide is sort of letting go of limitations, the limitations of your specific iteration, of the part that your specific part is playing. And that part is precious, and that part gets to need to have to get to deserve some compassion for whatever it gets to need to have to choose for whatever its reasons are, including the part that chose, the parts that choose to, for whatever reason, in whatever ways, disintegrate slowly or quickly in some ways. But choosing to stay in my limitations, my specific iteration, my specific part, my specific particular part in this earth or on this planet, like I kind of want to be able to be honest with what I feel like my dynamics are. And for me, this becoming more Mormon again, actually, there was a Mormon prophet that said that the way to define Mormonism is goodness wherever it is found. And I'm like, okay, I'll take that definition, and then I'm the most Mormon. And because I'll wherever goodness is found, let's find it. Let's share it too, hey, and let's imbibe it. And nowadays, supposedly the leaders of the Mormon Church claim that we as Mormons aren't supposed to call ourselves Mormons anymore. But I know that I can do my own speaking for myself, actually, and I would love to give any of those men massages, hang out with them, take them to lunch, find out what they really think, ask them questions to see if I can get beyond whatever their podium PR speaking is. I'd love to be able to let them be able to let up things that maybe they've never told anyone. I imagine the heavy is the head that wears a crown, and so anyways, the way I was doing Mormonism, the way Mormonism was brought through me, the way it came about in my life was such that it was like, if I would have continued to do it that way, I wouldn't have been able to be honest with who I am. I had to not matter as a body in some big way, actually, fundamentally. Now, let me see if I can explain why. Like I say, I'm not looking at pornography, right? So my generation was the first generation that had technologically distributed pornography, and for whatever reason there was a TV in my room that had a scrambled porn channel that wasn't scrambled so much that I couldn't see it, and for whatever reason, in some ways, majorly because my little sister died, I think, when I was 5, my 5-month-old sister died, and I think this made my mother be an overprotective mother. So in some big ways, I wasn't allowed to play sports, and I think I was actually naturally fairly very hustly. I didn't know that this was so, but I think there were signs it was obviously true, but there was various ways that it was clamped down, that I wasn't able to be athletic or fit. And in some ways, I was prescribed medicines for supposedly having learning disabilities and depression. I don't know what was true of me, nature and nurture, who knows, actually. Everything's working. It's okay that I was a Mormon. It's okay that I was a missionary. It's okay that I was in special ed. It's okay. Everything is working. And the main thing I'm trying to learn is the certainty that everything is working, actually. That everything is working. That's the certainty that I want, actually. That's the general thing that I want. I might want specifics, but all that's housed within the general, to remember, to remind that I want to remember and remind that everything is working, actually. So, let's see the time real quick. Okay. Hey, excuse me, what time is it?
5.
5, thank you.